Last night, the Dallas Mavericks got a huge win over the red-hot Memphis Grizzlies, so after the game, I looked at the team's play and I wanted to talk about them. But when it comes to the Mavericks, there's just one issue with them, and I want to talk about it. What's up, guys? SCJ here, and if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to give it a like as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. So like mentioned in the intro, last night the Dallas Mavericks got a huge win over the Memphis Grizzlies, who have been playing phenomenal basketball over the past month, as they beat them by a score of 104-91 in Dallas. I turned on this game on League Pass in the third quarter after I saw the score on the NBA app, and I was shocked the Mavericks were able to pull this one out after they choked on Thursday night against the team with the best record in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns. After the game, I started looking into the Mavs and their play, and there honestly wasn't too much that impressed me, aside from one thing. The Mavericks are quite literally nowhere to be seen in terms of being a top team in traditional stats. However, the Mavericks are a very good defensive team this season. This season, the Dallas Mavericks have the fourth best defensive rating in the NBA with a rating of 106.1. The Mavericks are top 5 in terms of the least amount of points given up off turnovers and a fraction of a point off of being top 10 in terms of second chance points given up to their opponents on the season. The Mavericks have held their opponents to the 6th lowest three-point percentage and missed being top 5 by a fraction of a point once again. The Mavs missed being top 10 in limiting the opponent's rebounds by less than 1 rebound also. The Mavs have allowed their opponents to get the 9th least amount of assists this season with 23.1 per game and miss being 8th by a fraction of an assist. The Mavericks have protected the ball as their opponents have grabbed the 3rd least amount of steals against them, and the Mavs opponents have averaged the least amount of blocks against them as well. The Mavericks have also given up the 3rd least amount of points per game this season, and they miss out on being top 2 once again by a fraction of a point as the Cavs come in slightly better than them in that area. So that's all fine and good, but one thing I also saw was this tweet that the Mavs have held their opponents to under 50% shooting from the field in their past 23 games, and I felt it would be better to see how much the Mavs have improved over that time span. In terms of traditional numbers, the Mavs are once again nowhere to be found in most areas aside from a few. The Mavericks are a top 10 team in terms of free throw shooting, coming in with the 9th best percentage and 79.9% from the line. The Mavs are not top 10, but I'm sure it's still good enough to mention that they're in 11th place for the most assists per game over that span. The Mavericks are 0.1 less turnovers away from being top 10, and one of their most impressive stats is that they have been the 3rd most efficient team in the league ever since December 10th, 2021, and once again miss out on being the 2nd best by a fraction of a percentage. Now onto the side of the ball that they thrive. The Dallas Mavericks have had the best defense in the entire NBA since December 10th, 2021. The Mavericks have given up the 2nd least amount of second chance points over that time span, and while they're not top 10, they've given up the 12th least amount of points in the paint as well. The Mavericks have held their opponents to the 2nd worst field goal percentage and missed being 1st by 0.1%, and they've also held their opponents to the 2nd worst three-point percentage as well. The Mavericks' opponents have gotten the 3rd least amount of rebounds against them, and they also miss out on holding their opponents to the least amount of assists once again, missing out on 1st place by a fraction. Finally, the Mavericks have held their opponents to the least amount of points in the league, and they've been the only team over that time span to hold their opponents to under 100 points per game. So with that said, it makes sense that they've still played so well despite how poorly they've been offensively. The Mavericks have gone 15-8 ever since December 10th, and they've won 11 of their past 13 as well. While that game against Phoenix on Thursday was tough as they fell apart defensively in the 4th quarter, they've gotten a number of impressive wins over this time span, beating the Grizzlies twice now, and both times by big margins, and also beating Chicago, Golden State, and Denver by big margins as well. They also have had some tough losses, like the one I mentioned from last Thursday night, as well as their games against the Lakers, Bucks, and Jazz, but this Mavs team has truly been locked in as of late. Mavericks have gotten solid play from a number of the guys on their roster, as you can see here, but I truly do think they need to make a trade or a signing in the offseason for a true number 2 option to put alongside Luka, and they can even keep Porzingis as they want, as he's played really solid basketball, but that contract and cap space is the only issue that it's going to be in terms of keeping Porzingis. Tim Hardaway Jr. is also making way more than his value to this team, and you also got to remember Luka's big rookie contract extension hasn't gone into place yet, and then boom, before you know it, and you look at the Mavericks cap space, they don't have much flexibility, and as much flexibility as they'd like to make a move to really help Luka and put the pieces around him that are necessary to contend for a title. I want to mention I do feel like Trey, Burke, and Marquese deserve more of a role in the team's rotation and could really help them, but I think it's pretty clear that the team does need more help offensively as their defense is carrying them this season and over the past 23-game stretch, and if they don't address the issues on offense within a year or two, I could see Luka's frustration growing to the point where he wants out of Dallas. So anyway, guys, that's the breakdown on this Mavericks team and what they need to fix going forward. But I want to know what you guys think about this Mavericks team or the situation with Luka going forward, any of their players, or just anything having to do with the team down below in the comment section. If you made it all the way through to the end of the video, then I appreciate it. And like I said before, if you like this video, then make sure to give it a like as it helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you stay up to date with all the newest content on my channel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm SCJ and I am out. Peace.